Morning everybody, Calm Biker here, and I'm out on the bike, and I'm not out on the bike going to the shops. I'm out on the bike enjoying the open air. It's the Saturday following the Sunday where Boris Johnson made an announcement of sorts, followed by a Monday where everybody was baffled because some people were going back to work because he said you had to go back to work on the Monday, and then they clarified on the Monday that they didn't mean that, they meant to go back on the Wednesday, and then people didn't really know what was happening, and we're now in a position where we've got a really weird set of lockdown rules. We're not out of lockdown at all, but there has been a relaxation. Now I'm not sure whether that relaxation is a good idea or not, but I'm taking advantage of it while I can, because I'm suspicious that a lot of people are going to now think it's all over. I've seen the pictures on the tube in London, and people are back crowding on the trains and crowding on the platforms, and they're crowding on the buses. We're crowding on the beaches. No, anyway. So it wouldn't surprise me if the lockdown came back, especially as we've got this 1 to 5 rating of how serious it is, and apparently we've never been at 5. Well, I mean, that's clearly just politicking. That's a silly overtake to make if somebody came out of there, sir. That's clearly just politicking, because they made the scale after they decided to start releasing the lockdown things. So basically they've decided on a scale where 5 has never happened, 4 is the second worst it can be, and we are at 4 and have been at 4 the whole time. So I don't know why that would mean that we release lockdowns, but you know, a lot of waffle from me there. But ultimately what I'm saying is I'm going to enjoy a ride. I'm going to be socially distant, I'm going to enjoy it, bit of fresh air, because at the minute you can. I'm under strict instructions from Mrs. C to be careful, so I'm going to be, because this is the first Saturday since those changes to the rules, and as you can see there's quite a bit of traffic around. I bet the beaches will be full because it's about 20 degrees. I'm not going to the beach though. I'm just having a quick whiz around to find some places to record some new intros. So I thought I'd bring you along for the ride. If you spot anything that looks good for a possible intro and outro as we're riding along, just give me a shout and I'll pull in and have a go at recording it. That's funny left indication when you're going straight on. Why don't people know when to indicate on roundabouts anymore? I've seen so many people who indicate before the junction they want, or the exit. I was always told make sure you can get 4 or 5 flashes in, but never to indicate until you're at least alongside the exit before the exit that you want to leave at. Is it me that's wrong? I was having a one-on-one meeting with one of my team the other day. If you don't have the one-on-ones, it's literally just half an hour to have a one-on-one discussion about, for the first half, whatever they want to talk about, for the second half, whatever I want to talk about. Quite a handy way of keeping good communications going in a team. And I always open with the same thing, which is, what would you like to talk about? It's always a problem if you're the manager. If you start with your part, you'll just go on for the whole kind of half hour or whatever it might be, and they'll never get a look in, and then they just think the one-on-ones are a waste of time. So I said to him, what do you want to talk about? And he said, obviously the coronavirus. But not that he actually wanted to, but he said, isn't it weird now that you can't seem to actually have a conversation without talking about this blooming virus? And it seems right. Everything, it's taken over our lives, hasn't it? Everything will come back to coronavirus at some point or other, even if it's just a silly joke in the middle of a conversation, but it's obviously it's a big thing. I mean, it's a lot of people been very ill and a lot of people have died. But I guess we all want to escape it. We all want to kind of not talk about it for 5 minutes, and somehow it always manages to squeak back in. So here's me heading out to record some intros, and straight away talking about this blooming virus. Let's see if I can not talk about it for the rest of the video. Anyway, thanks for watching. Just setting up for an intro. This is 158 Squadron Memorial, and I can't seem to get my bike in the right place. I tried to record an intro here the other day, but it came up quite well until I rode off, and I rode right across the sun, and riding across the sun meant that the whole video suddenly brightened right up because I was blocking the sun out, and the camera was trying to compensate. So just as the video would fade out on the outro, it went blindingly bright, which was not ideal. Right. I think that's going to be okay. Bit of movement, I like a bit of movement. There's a chap over there who's maybe going to walk into shots. I'll have to get on with it quick. Helps if you have your key out, doesn't it? The riding away at the end of it, much more difficult without the key. Hopefully that will do nicely. So I should have a bit of me. Now I can go back and get my camera before somebody whips it. Well, that chap that I thought might walk into my shot, I've actually ended up standing there and having a chat with him for about half an hour. Very interesting. Turns out he's a hypnotherapist. I hope he didn't hypnotise me. Yeah, quite interesting having a chat with him. It's interesting having a chat with somebody outside of the household at the moment, though I did say I wouldn't mention that again. Unfortunately, I did chat for quite a while and left the phone camera running, so I've actually filled up my phone. So I don't think I'm going to be getting another intro recorded today. I haven't got any video editing software on to chop a bit out of it until I get home. Well, it's been fun, and it's lovely to get out. Now, I say he was a hypnotherapist. As well as that, he was also a biker. It's amazing how many people you meet that are bikers, isn't it? Chap rides a Varadero. These max speed signs, for this bend here, it said max speed 40, but it's not a speed limit, it's a warning. Are they for trucks? Does anybody know? Because I tell you, this is not a 40 mile an hour bend. I think I might go to the right just up here, and there is another place I might get an intro. That I got an intro before, a little canal side lock gate type thing that's quite nice. I might have to delete an app or two to free up some space to do the recording. It was quite strange actually talking to the hypnotherapist chap. He was also an Uber rider and various other bits and pieces, as well as being a biker. He was telling me about his electric bike that he's made as well, which I quite fancy having a go at. Electric bicycle, that is, that he uses for his Uber deliveries. And it's weird, got to the end of our chat and I had to go because Mrs. C is going to be worried about where I am, and I didn't want her to check my position on the old Google and find me at the side of a road for half an hour. She might have thought I was in a ditch or something. But yeah, I got to the end of it and saying our goodbyes and saying, you know, if you fancy coming on a ride out once they're back on, you can, and all that kind of thing. He lives in Leeds, but he's looking at moving across this area, so although plenty of people come across to the ride outs from Leeds anyway, people like Huggy and Lurch and whatnot. And of course the natural thing to do with somebody you've just met and just shared a fun conversation with is shake their hand. And we both kind of felt that need, but of course we're keeping our social distance, and we kind of both moved to put our hands out and then realised it's really difficult, isn't it? At least it's sunk into people so that it doesn't feel like it's rude to not shake hands. So we kind of turned our heads to one side and stretched out our arms with an elbow bump, as is the current trend, I believe. We're down with the kids and whatnot, you know. But yeah, quite weird how things have changed. I mean, now should I get right across here to stay 2 meters away from one of them, but the other one's near his van, I've got to kind of pick my position, haven't I? It's a tricky old situation we find ourselves in, and I've failed dismally to not talk about it for the end of the video. So I'll try on the next one. Next video I do, I'll try not to mention it at all. How's that? Ah, well, people are at the lock, so no joy. They beat me to it. Another day. Petrol's still cheap. Well, I say cheap. £1.7 a litre doesn't sound actually that cheap, does it? But compared to what it was, at £1.30 odd a litre, not 3 months ago, it's quite a drop, isn't it? I hear they were having to pay people on the oil companies to take their oil away. Unfortunately, because most of the amount we pay at the pump, of course, is tax and duty and tax on the duty and VAT on the tax on the tax on the duty. Doesn't actually make a great deal of difference to the end price, but it's nice to see it a little bit cheaper. I wonder if now that measures are easing a little bit in this country, and then in other countries around the world quite a lot, if we'll see demand go up and those prices come back up again. I wonder if we'll also see, like at the time of the fuel shortage from many years ago, 20 some years ago, if there'll be house fires for people who've bought petrol and stored it in garages and things. Anyway, I'm heading back now. I've given up on the idea of getting another intro. I've enjoyed my little bit of freedom. I would encourage anyone out there to get on the bike and enjoy a bit of freedom as well, but let's not go mad. I won't be organising any ride outs at the minute. I would imagine very quickly, if we start seeing ride outs of 50 bikers turning up at places and not social distancing, as soon as that hits the news coverages or goes viral, as they say, I'm sure they'll be looking to lock us down again. So get out there and enjoy it, but enjoy it sensibly and responsibly, as they might say. Anyway, thank you for watching, everyone. Ride safe, and I'll talk to you all again soon.